Hi everyone, welcome back to this channel. Today's topic is about breastfeeding. So whether you're breastfeeding or you're planning to, or you're looking for something to buy for a person who is breastfeeding, well, this video is for you because we're going to talk about this magic tool that is called the Akka. Let's go into the video to know more. Hello future or current parents, welcome back to this channel. If this is the first video that you watch, my name is Ilenia. I'm a midwife and I've been a midwife for now more than 7 years, and I've been helping women in different countries all over the world to achieve their goal for pregnancy, birth, breastfeeding, postpartum, and everything that is around the maternity world. So if you like this type of content, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Today's video is about the Akka pump, as I was saying in the intro. I don't like to call it the Akka pump, but you will find it addressed in this way, and I'm going to explain you why. I really want to talk about this thing because it has so many pros but also some cons, so we're going to see them all in this video so that you can consider whether to purchase this item for your breastfeeding journey or not. Let's talk about what it is. First of all, it is a silicone hands-free milk collector that uses negative pressure in order to promote or incentivize the let down of your milk. How do you use it? Well, you are breastfeeding your baby from one side, or maybe you're pumping using an electric pump on one side and you're using the Akka on the other side. In fact, that's why I don't want this the Akka to be called Akka pump, because it's not a pump, it's just a milk collector. So it's a mixture between like your breast pads that simply collect the milk that would have been wasted, and an electric pump. So how do you use it? First of all, you are breastfeeding your baby in one side, in whichever position you want. If you don't know which positions a baby can be breastfed into, then make sure to check my video in where I explain which position you can use and why you should change position also. But let's say you're in this position in the rugby hold, and then you want to attach the pump into the other breast. How do you do it? You simply squeeze here to create the negative pressure. You make sure that all the parts of the Akka are attached to the breast, and then you let go. To explain you the negative pressure, let me just use the balloon so you'll see better. So again, you press, you attach it to the breast, making sure that the nipple is at the center, and you let go. And that guy stays there doing your feed, and then slowly, as the milk flows into the Akka, it will lose the negative pressure and it will lose the vacuum suction. So you might need to press it again to reinforce it during the feed. But if you want to take it off before you finished, before the pressure is finished, basically, you simply gently press and it will come out. There are different generations of the Akka. The new ones now, they stand on their own, so that you don't spill it while you put it there. Make sure that your baby is not kicking it. Some babies are very active during the feed and they might kick it off, so make sure that you don't make a mess with that. But otherwise, it's very, very a good tool to use. The pros are, like, it's very easy to use. First of all, it's cheap, it's free, doesn't have any cables or any batteries or any chargers, so it's very useful to bring around. It helps you to collect a small stash of milk. Maybe you're not actively pumping, but maybe you need to leave baby with someone for 2-3 hours and you just want to have like an extra collection of milk. So you just attach the Akka to your last feed of the baby when you feed the baby at the other breast. Or you're in a rush and you can pump just on one side, then the Akka comes very in hand for this type of use. And also can be used also to relieve some engorgement. For example, if you put some Epsom salt with some water and you attach it to your breast that is engorged, and you massage with like force, gently obviously, but like a steady massage with some hot water or a hot flannel on the breast, then it might really be helpful to relieve the engorgement. So it's very versatile. I do suggest you to look into it. You can easily find it on Amazon. The original brand, the Akka, is from New Zealand. I'm not whatsoever sponsored by them, I just like it, but there are different brands that do it now, so it doesn't really matter. But the Akka is actually the first one that designed and produced this item. I do find that it works even better if you actually flip it. before you attach it. So you flip it upside down, then you do the same thing, negative pressure, you put it around the breast, you flip it back, and then you let it go. If it's so great, why no one has ever told you about it, or why it's not mandatory to purchase it like for every person who's breastfeeding? Well, first of all, it's quite new. Second, it needs to be used with a certain knowledge of it. It cannot just be used randomly with everyone. Some people might not need it. Some people are not a good candidate to use the ACCA. What I'm talking about, first of all, I would not advise to use it while you are in the first days of your breastfeeding journey. So when you have the colostrum usually the first milk is thicker in consistency, and it might be harder for the ACCA to extract it, and like it usually doesn't flow by itself on the other breast while you're feeding maybe on the other. And also, I don't want the ACCA to mess up with your production of milk. So I will start to use it once your milk has come in and once your production has somehow level. This is because the ACCA can be triggering in terms of oversupply. Like the breast work with this magical system of supply and demand. So the more you ask for it, the more your breast will produce. And I don't want the ACCA to be signal to your brain that you need to produce more milk, and therefore ending into an oversupply that can cause engorgement and mastitis and blah blah blah. So make sure that you use it with caution and not constantly to build up your supply. And don't use it for pumping. I had women coming back to me with remission from mastitis saying that we're using the ACCA all the time as a pump. The ACCA is not an electric pump, and it cannot replace an electric pump. Or the suction of your baby. Remember that a baby sucking at the breast will always be more powerful and more effective than an electric pump. For feeding, for relieving engorgement, for milk supply, for everything, always better to touch the baby at the breast than the ACCA or the electric pump. Another con is that it might distract you. Maybe you're feeding baby on the side and you're just concentrating on the amount that you're collecting, because let's be honest, it's exciting to collect more milk, but don't be thrown away by the amount that you collect here. It's not indicative of how much milk you produce. Also, another con is that it collects the foremilk, which is usually the most liquid part of the milk, is the one that comes first. Therefore, is a very important part of that your baby will need to receive. Is more hydrative, is more important to give that like hydration component to your baby. But don't feed constantly your baby with the milk that you extracted with the ACCA. Maybe mixed it with a full session of pump that you've done with an electric pump, so that the baby also receives the inner milk, the back component of the milk that is made of fat, carbohydrates, protein, that is very important for the growth of the baby. Also, if you don't have a big supply, you want to make sure that your baby is not taken away of that important part. Maybe your baby needs both breasts to have a proper feed, and maybe you're just concentrating in feeding the fridge or the freezer with the milk to extract. So make sure that you're always feeding the baby first, and then if you have extra milk to collect to build up an extra supply, that's great, and you can do so with the ACCA, but always be careful. And if you need extra support, do make sure to reach out to people that know how to use the ACCA and whether this can be good for your particular case. That's all for this video. I hope that you learned something that you didn't know. Like I said at the beginning, if you like this type of content, don't forget to subscribe, because I come out with a video every week. And until next video, bye bye for now.